the gods can all be seen as one. We rise.
In this life, there are moments when we feel a shift in things. We leave a moment different from when we entered it. These moments make us who we are. Let's talk about them.
Welcome to our podcast. We're starting. This is our very first episode, and we have a guest host today, Julie. Julie's our guest host. She has no idea where this is going or what we're doing. She just came and sat in our room to see what we were up to. She may or may not jump in with things, but she's welcome to. Okay, so this one's called How Hannah Waddingham Helped Me Lose 70 Pounds. And it's a really weird title because that wasn't the whole point of my losing 70 pounds. It wasn't for this woman that I've never met.
Well, isn't Hannah Waddingham, isn't she a character?
She's a person.
So that's her
She's
actual
a real
name.
woman. Her name is
Okay.
Hannah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So she is a real life person, just like you and me, walks this earth today. And so it's not like, I'm losing 70 pounds. Moira Rose has inspired me to lose 70 pounds or somebody else. It's like saying Dolly Parton did this. Okay. So she's a real person. She's in Ted Lasso.
Right.
But she wasn't supposed to be involved in this story because I don't know her and I've never met her and I never will. But somehow in this idea I had to lose weight, I decided that she would be my muse. I needed a muse to lose weight so that I could be healthy because I was going on this trip with my family and I couldn't walk and I was disabled, and I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out what to do, and in the end it was that I had to lose weight so that my body could function better. I really should start by thanking Hannah for being a good person because I'm very particular about the people that I use to motivate me and inspire me in my life. Each year when I take on a new goal, I do this yearly, I have a planner, I put a sticker on it, and it's a powerful woman that inspires me to something. So she made the list. She made the cut. But she has to be a good person. And what I was doing was I needed someone to aspire to kind of shape my body to. So I can be like, I want to look like that person. I want to look like that person in those clothes and with that kind of figure and everything. And when you look for someone like that, it's usually going to be a famous person because they're highly visible. You can see a lot of pictures of them and stuff. So she was someone that was my height too because I'm tall. And many women in Hollywood, their hips are 13 inches across. They're small. They're small people. And she is a tall woman who's curvy. And so I'm like, that's a realistic look. I can never look like the waif women. So I was like, okay, she's going to be my sticker. So every time I do something, it's, would Hannah do this? Would Hannah eat those candy bars? No, she would not. Maybe she does. I don't need to know what her diet is. But that was always my motivation. If you want to look like Hannah does in that dress, you got to stop doing this stuff. So that's how she got to be that way. But I didn't want you could find other tall women out there who are curvy that you want to look like, but they can't be an asshole. They have to be somebody who I think is a good person. She appears to be a good person. I don't know. She might be a total turd in real life, but she appears to be a really awesome person. So, okay, you can be an awesome person and look awesome in that green dress. Cool. I can do it. And I didn't use myself as a muse, even though that was a consideration because I am my exact height and curves and all those things. But the last time I was that size, I was not stylish or cool looking. There was no sticker I could make of myself. Look at how cool I used to look. I was a frump, total frump style. So there was no image of me in the past that looked like what I wanted.
Well, that's also wanting to be a butterfly, but then putting a caterpillar picture up because you can't
true.
You can't be your old self. You can't be your old self and try to be your new self at the same time. There's stages of life,
Yeah, and it would have been a moth-looking caterpillar. I really you guys. There's this picture of me from when I went to my brother's college graduation at Michigan State, and I thought so hard about the cool outfit I wanted to wear for that day. And we line up with me and my sisters. There's 4 sisters and my brother. What the hell was I thinking? Well, one, you can't find clothes for me in a store easily. But I was wearing this crew neck t-shirt with a skirt, but it was just terrible for my form. It might have looked awesome on one of you guys or somebody else. That was like the stupidest idea, but I put so much thought into it. And then the actual carrying out was like bad. And so that's the picture I think of when I'm like, no, I did not. It was caterpillar vibes. So I needed someone. Hannah apparently is a butterfly. Who is Hannah Waddingham? Because you thought she was a fictional character.
Well, I thought that was her Ted Lasso name.
No, she's Rebecca in Ted Lasso.
Oh,
so
okay.
she is in Ted Lasso. She plays Rebecca. She was also in Game of Thrones as a nun, I think. Anyway, she's this really talented actress. Also has a hella good voice. She's exceptionally good at singing. She has a lot of theater chops and stuff. Really talented person. She's Ted Lasso's boss, Rebecca, on Ted Lasso. So here's the backstory. Like, why the hell was I even doing this?
Mm-hmm.
So we were going on a family vacation out west, which is when we went to the Rockies and the Tetons and stuff. And we had all these hikes planned, my husband and my 3 kids. And I didn't want to be the mom stuck at the campsite while everyone else went and had fun. Because I couldn't walk. My hips were extremely painful. Previously had hip surgery, I think it was about 8 years prior, on one hip. But the pain persisted in both of them. And I couldn't even do things like go to Meijer, which is like a bigger size grocery store, I know. So it's not like you're just running in and getting a loaf of bread. You're getting $375 of groceries.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do Meijer without coming home and being in pain and not wanting to do stuff. I couldn't go up and down the stairs doing laundry. Everything I did was, these hips were affected. I couldn't go on walks to exercise and practice even for this vacation out west because I was in so much pain. And I'd gone to doctors and they're like, I don't know, we'll just chop at you and fix your hips, but it didn't really repair. And they didn't explain to me what was going on. So finally I was like, I have to do something. So I just started Googling because that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and how do you correct a solution if you don't know what the real problem is, right?
Yeah. But online, they're like, oh, hypermobility. Oh, yeah, ballerinas get this and athletes. I'm like, I am not that person. And I've had this problem my whole life. And it just got worse as I got older. And it got worse.
Kids.
As when I was pregnant, I noticed I was worse. And I thought it was because when you're pregnant, your body gets more bendy because it's getting ready to have a baby. But then I was like, oh, no, there's a weight component. So what if I just lost weight and saw what happened? Because if I thought about it like this, you have these shocks, because I realized that I didn't have good shock absorption in my hips, and that was the pain. How do you fix shock absorption? You can't add more shock absorption, but you can take the weight off, so there's less pushing down.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. So.
And there was no point that the doctor suggested that?
No, but the guy had gone 2 years before. He was like, you have a labral tear and these bone spurs on your hips, and we'll just do some surgery to fix it. And he mentioned something about weight, but very casually and in passing. And he didn't look me in the eye and say, if you weighed lighter, it's less pain. He just made a casual remark. And I was like...
Because surgery was his
I don't know.
idea.
I'm not sure, because later, after the surgery, I was reading his Google reviews, because I was going to do one. And multiple people dragged this guy like he is an a-hole, and he keeps talking to me about how I'm too fat and I need to lose weight, and he's elitist, and he only works because he was one of the doctors for like the U.S. women's ski team and stuff. Like, he only likes cute chicks and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, did he say something about my weight then? Because he's got a complex about it. So anyways, I never understood. So maybe, but he never looked me in the eye and said, yeah, hey, shock absorption.
Or let's try this first.
I can give you surgery. You can also drop 50 pounds. Like, these are the options. So I don't know. My friend just underwent the same exact surgery with him, and she is not a heavy person. So yeah, it was just, nobody could tell me. And I went to my regular doctor. So finally I was sick of it feeling like a grind, like just, it's like bones grinding on bones, it felt like.
Ugh.
So.
And you were, how old did you say you were at that point?
Over 40.
Well, that's still fairly young, though, and you have young kids, so you can't, how do you function? You can't.
Yeah. And I had just been adapting.
Yeah. And you have how many flights of stairs at your house?
Yeah, 4, because I do basement and attic. So I had been adapting, but I was like, okay, there's nothing wrong with losing weight. It doesn't harm anything. I'll try and see what happens. So
you found her as your muse to create the momentum for your own personal growth. So then, as you found her and you set up your journal,
Mm-hmm.
how else did she support you? You know, how else did she motivate you? Or at that point, was it just the spark to light the fire that you needed that helped you with her?
I
Like,
think
helped her?
what I looked at her and I thought, you know, she doesn't just walk around looking like that. I could tell from her, like, following her on Instagram and stuff, she's a very hardworking, intentional person. So she doesn't roll out of bed just like, I roll out of bed feeling and looking awesome. I know that she put in work. So I knew that I had to put in the work too if I wanted to get results. And not necessarily, she puts in the work for her career, for whatever, right? So it wasn't just Hannah puts in the work to be skinny or whatever. But I know that she put in the work. So I knew I couldn't let off the gas ever. And anytime I was going to let off the gas, I would ask myself, would Hannah do that? Does she do that? Does she get results by doing that kind of crap? No, she does not. So I always had to be, and it was cool to have her as someone to aspire to because she's not like a regular person. She's like glamorous. So like, it's not like I could ever get to her level because I don't have like a team that does my makeup and my face and gives me a diet and like workout and stuff. So it was always this thing where I could never quite get to it, but that helps me. That was like the carrot that it wasn't like, oh, I arrived. I got there. Because another reason I didn't use myself for a muse, like I'm doing this for myself, which I was, but I wasn't like, I want to look like the best version of me because I already thought I was awesome. I'm one of those people who I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I'm sexy. I just never thought I was fat, overweight, whatever you call it. I was just like, I look good. And so it never would work because say I lost 10 pounds and my goal was to lose 70. I think it was 75. I don't remember. Maybe it was 70. And it was to lose a lot of weight. If I lost 10 pounds, I looked in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I look good. I would have just quit. I'm like, I look good. I look good all the time. So I needed someone that looked drastically different from me and that I couldn't use as myself.
So what I noticed too with being your friend, I noticed that she was the match to start the fire, but then you started pulling more things from this person that you wanted to be. So it started with, this person matches my frame, I like her outlook because it is similar to yours, or this persona that she gives.
Yeah.
So you found yourself in her and then you just wanted to amplify it. So you went from, okay, this person is cool, I want to be like them, to, okay, what are the steps that I can do to be a better version that's similar to her? So you started with dieting and exercise, but the coolest part is how you started to find your fashion sense.
I know. That was unexpected.
Yeah, but also if you talk about it now, you look at how much glamour you said she has, and you were amplifying that too and finding it in yourself at the same time. So that helped then to motivate you, right?
That's true. Yeah, and I didn't realize that was part of it either. So,
because that's when you went on your whole
that was my
fashion.
next year, but it rolled into that, like finding my style kind of journey and stuff. So it was really interesting to have that person to look at for different reasons, but through her. So I told you, whenever I look in the mirror, I'm like, I look awesome. And which was detrimental because I never looked to see if I had food in my teeth or if my hair was off. I'm just like, I'm awesome. I'm going out in the world. And then I see pictures of myself and be like, not awesome. I look not presentable, not professional. And I didn't know that, but this was feeding into me having a job where I went out, a public facing job where I need to look in the mirror and look presentable and stuff. But yeah, little things about her got me thinking, what are other things that Hannah has that I admire and would like? And so I didn't realize that style was part of that, in dressing like her and caring about how I look, and knowing that hang on, I had it right on here.
I think that's one of the moments watching you grow and flourish, that you started to like not just take life as it came to you, you started creating your own life. You know, like you started shaping it into what you wanted yourself to be and what you wanted to look like and reflect to the world. You started to look at fashion as a way to show what kind of flower you were. You know, so that's when you stopped being like, oh, someone donated 10 shirts to me, I should just put them all on my dresser. And then you turned into, well, what do I actually like? So to quote like Brene Brown, I feel like that was the beginning or part of your unraveling. And I can't say that for, as a spectator anyways, where you just started to really like under a microscope go, okay, well, who am I now? And what does it look like? Mm-hmm. And then that's when you started throwing clothes away.
Yes, I had thrown away clothes before that, but yes, I kept being more like, nope,
Mm-hmm.
nope. And I did that at the beginning of my journey. I'm like, nope, throwing all these clothes away so I have nothing to wear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it evolved into that, and I learned, like JB was like, April, you set a goal and you get it. I was like, yeah, I do. But also, you guys, I needed to do this for years. Like, I'm so slow. So from the outside, you guys just probably see April says she wants to do a thing, and then she does the thing, and then it happens. But there's all this inner workings that have been happening for years. I mean, thinking about doing the thing, wondering about doing the thing, looking at doing the thing, getting ready for the plan to do the thing. And so I should have done this long ago. But I wasn't really ready. In my brain, I didn't have time to look into what was going on and all this stuff.
Well, also, like, there's a ton of components there. Like, you had small kids when...
Yeah. But I could have activated this at any point. Maybe Hannah Waddingham wouldn't have been in the picture, so maybe she had to be a person that I knew existed at this time. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the things that I'm trying to learn about myself. So, like, during this journey, one of the things that I learned was I am slow to start my goals, and do I need to move faster on those things? And maybe not, but sometimes, and I don't think it's a self-sabotage, because I know this goal is not going to happen yet. I just know I'm not going to meet it, and so I have to have more things in place.
Julie, do you think that many people are slow to starting goals?
I think slow and fast all depends on the person, and so defining slow, defining fast, knowing
like for them what is slow or fast,
for the outsiders, for like who's it slow to, those types of things. And so when I hear that, like, is it that it's slow, it sounds like it was preparation time, and things happen kind of when they happen.
So
I actually think that's a really good perspective, because there's been many a time where I've been like, well, why didn't I do that sooner? Or why did it take this person less time, or whatever. I think there's that internal dialogue of like, well, why is so-and-so doing it faster? Or, like,
look at them go.
Time is very, like,
the comparison can be, like, I think it's always to be cautious when comparing against someone else. If you can use that comparison as a way to motivate, or as a way to, like, in a useful way, then I think that's safe to do. Generally, comparison doesn't do much for people. When I see it, like, I see comparison as it can be more detrimental, more harmful,
and it's unnecessary at times.
Well, it's how are you using the comparison? Are you using it to motivate and encourage yourself?
Yeah.
Or to feel bad about yourself?
And I think there's so many women out there that, and people, not even women, I don't want to, that think like, oh, I should have done it in this time frame, when they either don't do it because of that, or they don't enjoy their victory because they, comparison is the thief of joy. Right?
But when I hear those shoulds, the coaching alarms go off. It's like, we always joke, like, don't should on yourself. Because when you hear a should, that is a judgment. And so then the question is, what judgments are here right now? And is that judgment from yourself, or is that judgment an external judgment? And discussing what judgments exist in that space is important too. So watch for those shoulds. Yeah. You don't need to should on yourself. Don't should on yourself. Or others. You don't need to should on others either.
Keep your should to yourself.
You really should do this. Yes.
Yeah, but when I hear those shoulds, those coaching alarms go ding ding.
You know how you talked about how my style started to evolve then? It's kind of because it had to. And so this is helping me see how this all kind of needed to happen when it happened, because right before that I got a serger. Because the listeners probably don't know, but I sew a lot, but I make a lot of bags and quilts and stuff, like flat things. And a serger is the thing you can use for making clothes. You don't need one. Spoiler alert. So if you want to make clothes, you don't need a serger. But I wanted one because I wanted to explore making clothes because I'm so tall. And they make women's tall in the stores, but they don't make women's big and tall, which is what I was. And so I was like, at the point before I started to decide I was going to change my body shape, I was like, I need to learn to make big and tall women's clothes. So I got a serger. Little did I know that I needed the serger to size my clothes down as I dropped weight.
I forgot you went through that whole phase.
It was amazing.
Too.
I was very appreciative of it because I had just thrown out all my clothes and been like, forget this. I'm not wearing clothes that don't flatter me or serve me. And I started buying nicer clothes that fit me. But when you buy talls, you can't get it from Salvation Army and stuff. You have to buy like off the rack, usually not on sale. So anyways, I was buying a bunch of athletic clothes and stuff. And then I started losing weight. And I'm like, damn it. These $60 shorts about 4 months ago do not fit at all. But I had a serger, and so I learned how to do that, and I learned how to take in clothes, and I learned how to make things for me, and that helped me evolve and be like, what styles do look good on me? Why am I wearing that thing when that doesn't serve me? Why am I wearing that color if it doesn't serve me? And so it just helped me, and it forced me because every few months, nothing fit. So if anyone is thinking of losing weight, I mean, I'm not going to say don't do it, but you're going to spend a shit ton of money on clothes. Just a shit ton of money.
Especially if it's a lot of weight.
Yeah, if it's a lot of weight, because it's like, okay, you can wear a shirt that's a little baggy, you can tuck it in, but your pants, they've fallen off. They're falling off, and your underwear's falling off, your bras are falling off, your boobs don't fit in the bra anymore, and so it's just so expensive. So expensive. So thankfully, I could size a bunch of stuff down. My jeans, I couldn't, but that's fine. Buy new jeans. But it taught me as I was working with that stuff, materials and things, like what did I like and what didn't I like.
And I loved it because as you were healing and, you know, finding the value in how you presented yourself, then I was like, oh shit, what do I look like? And then next thing you know, so this is what I love about like being friends with you too, because as you do things, I think it's God's way of like kind of nudging me sometimes to be like, well, what about you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I should look at that. So then that's when I started to look at my clothes and go, oh, how much of my wardrobe was given to me because someone else didn't want it? And I just took it out of lack mindset, or because I just didn't know what my style was or care. And then so I started to look through my stuff and really fine tooth comb and say, does this even look good on me? And then the biggest question was, is this comfortable? Am I keeping this just because I have it? And then that's when it started to unravel for me too. And I feel like there's some I just went through my wardrobe yesterday actually, and there's one sweater I have had since like my 20s. And I'm like, why am I keeping this?
But just because of memory at this point?
I don't know, but until you have those questions, there's a lot, think of how many things you keep because maybe you still like it, but they still live there. Mm-hmm. There's just so many. And then that's the same, that was was it before or after COVID? It was after COVID you started doing
my
it, right?
thing, yeah. 2022 was when I did it.
I think around that same time is when I switched all my hangers backwards.
Oh,
Remember
so that you could
thing?
Determine if you wore it in the last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just that's how positive influence can impact you, right? And you can live vicariously through your friends.
But also know that you don't have to, because some people too, their clothing doesn't matter, right?
Do you know how many times you irritated me in a way because I'm just buy a damn shirt, April. But I respect what you do, but because that impatience has taught me to be more patient. Why am I being so impatient about this? Well, because I think there's times that I've probably not spent time or energy or money on myself because of other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get annoyed that you are taking a long time to do something, but really for what?
So what's an example? If I'm hemming and hawing over something that I like?
It sounds so much harsher than it is though. Yeah. An example. I'd be like, oh, I have this shirt that I think would look really cute on you. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm going to donate to you. I'm going to give it to you. And you're like, I hate that shirt because I wore those during my pregnancy.
Yes. But then I know.
But I'm like, damn, this looks so cute on you.
It was look cute, but I can't because it feels like I'm putting on.
Yeah.
It feels like when, like I said, when you have the flu and you think about eating that food again and you feel sick, I feel like barfing.
Yeah.
When I put those on, and I'm so mad about it because that's a great style, and I'm mad that I wore that style during pregnancy.
And I recognize that like my impatience comes from probably lack mindset of like, oh, you have this thing that's being presented to you. It's a nice thing.
Yeah. Why don't you accept this?
Yeah.
Also, I have limited closet space.
Yeah, your closet is actually. I think your closet's bigger than mine. But we don't have to go there.
It's in the attic. It is. It's
yeah.
It's
sure.
4 foot deep or 4 foot wide hanging closet space. Probably 4 foot, maybe a little less. That's all I have. So I had to put my closet upstairs in my walk up attic. But clothes aren't supposed to see sunlight because then they can get bleached. And my clothes see sunlight. So now I had to put all my vintage dresses downstairs in my closet. It's a whole thing. Anyways, but yeah, everything I take, it has to be, do I want to wear this every day? Like I even saw this really cute skirt for sale and I was like, oh, I should buy it. I'm like, oh, I was at Goodwill on Sunday shopping. I found this sweater at Goodwill. Go see. I was at Goodwill and there was a Talbot's very nice quality. I'm into quality skirts that fit me and it looked good, but it wasn't the exact color blue I would wear. It's like the blue of this gumball machine, kind of like a royal blue. It had black, white, and royal blue. Love it. I'm like, I have 0 things in my closet that go with this. I'll have to work hard to find stuff to go with it, and it'll just take up space. So I had, even though it was a fantastic purchase, I had to let it go.
But you have that criteria in your head.
Yes.
You're able to go through that checklist in your head of what is and isn't something you would say yes to.
Yes. And so if I feel myself thinking too hard about it, I'm like, there's a no. There's no overwhelming yes in there.
Yeah.
Like I bought a
it's
dress.
It's like a hell yes or not at all.
Yes. Yep. So even if it's like, yeah, that's cool. No. I almost didn't buy this Michigan State sweater because the sleeves aren't long enough because I'm tall and I'm really particular. But I have 0 Michigan State clothes because of my weight change in Michigan. Like branded collegiate clothing is really expensive. So I have 0. So I'm like, okay, I'll spend $7 on this. And then if I replace it with some Under Armour bougie thing later, fine. But yeah, I had to be like, are you going to wear this? So I wore it today.
So what would you say was the moment that changed you?
When I realized, so this goes into me thinking, why did I wait so dang long? Because every 10 pounds I lost, I realized my mobility was so much better. I was like, holy shit. I had been in my head, like you said, the timeline, you're like looking through the timelines of figuring out what's the best like option for getting all these things done. I had timelined in my head everything I needed to do in my house that day and like squash it down so I would only have to go up and downstairs a few times. And my brain is I'm an absent-minded professor, so my brain is everywhere. And I'm used to being able to just, run downstairs, do laundry, done. I got to run up to the attic and get this thing out of my closet, done. And I just bounce all over. And I was just only doing 2 loads of laundry a day because I couldn't go more.
So am I hearing you say that you recognized that you were spending so much mental time basically calibrating yourself so that way you could avoid steps?
Yeah, and because I'm such an absent-minded person, I would forget it then. I'd forget. I wanted to go in the basement. I would forget because I'd be like, hang on till later today when you're going down to the basement, also with the canning jars and going to the pantry and doing these other 5 things. I get down there, I'd remember one. So many things weren't getting done. And how much, I just wasn't moving my body. And so like for like a good year or 2 during that and after, anytime I went up and downstairs, because I run up and down my stairs, because I have basement, 1st floor, 2nd floor, and attic, and I use them all. I was like crying for joy. I'm like, holy crap, I can move. I can go to Meijer. I don't have to think about, can I go to Meijer today and still have energy afterward to do X? Because there's limited. And being like, wait, this is how it feels for everybody else. It doesn't hurt. I can go on a walk and I don't have to pump myself up to grind through the pain. I was like, I can just go out there and walk. And it felt so good.
You realize what a blessing it is to be able to move that body.
Yeah, and to be grateful for mobility. And I was sad for people who don't have it. But I spent 14 years living like this because I didn't do anything about it. And maybe I wasn't meant to at the time, but it just hit me hard. Can I make decisions faster or enact on things faster. And I still don't have an answer for this, like if I should have done this journey, because like we were talking about, my sense of fashion came into it, like the right person to kind of motivate me to do it. All these things came together, and I don't know if it would have been as successful previously, but it just feels like 14 years of pain, of like in your heart feeling like you're crying all the time because of the pain.
Isn't it interesting how certain joys in your life, like when you have realizations about stuff, they come with grief?
Yeah, just like I wasted all that time.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody understood it because I'm not really an outward person. And I'd say to JB, I'm in a lot of pain. Like, he'll be like, oh, let's go do this today. I'm like, I don't know if I can, right? I hated having limitations. But I would push myself. And you can, like, when you rip open labral tears, they don't heal unless you really let them heal. Mm. And I never stopped because I had stuff to do. Sitting in chairs, like sitting in a wooden chair. So anyways, all these things, I was like, holy smokes, I was so grateful. But that really got me thinking about, are there other things, are there shoulds in my life that I'm not doing yet because, quote, I don't feel ready. But maybe if I push myself, will it be good? Like, am I waiting too long to do something? I don't know. So that's something I always go back to. So that's the big thing that I learned from this was, cool. And it really impressed my husband. He's like, he's thinking about him and his goals because he puts things off too for different reasons. And so I know it's inspired other people, but I just am wondering, is there other things that I'm not doing because of whatever that I should be doing?
So you lost pretty much 70 pounds, give or take, back and forth.
72.
Yeah, so that's great. And it's been what, over a year, 2 years?
3.
Jeez, already?
3. I have gained some back, but it's okay. Because I gained that much because I knew there's always bounce back weight. So I'm still within my goals. But
so if you could give advice to anybody to lose weight, like maybe three tips.
The big thing, and for getting healthy too, because I was eating better. And I was like, I'm awake more because I have narcolepsy, which we'll talk about another time. Eating right. But anyways, the big overarching thing I think for people is the devil is in the details, and people don't know that. Like, you can say, oh, I walked today. Did you count how far you went, what your cardio is? Like, I got an Apple Watch, and you have to mind the details. You have to, for me, I had to mind how much calories I burned in a day, how much cardio I was doing, and what I ate. I had tracked everything I ate because you think, oh, avocados are good. It has healthy fats, like all these foods that people say are good. If you eat more than a couple slices, you've eaten like 600 calories. So for me, I had to mind the details every day. So it was like a part-time job, which is also why I didn't do it, because I had to give up sewing. I had to give up reading. I had to give up so many hobbies to do this.
To integrate it into your life.
Yes, and to have a mental focus.
Long term.
Yeah. I needed it to be something that by the end, so I did this over 10 months, that by the end it would become it would be habits, natural part of my life. So.
And that learning process would have taken a while. That's a lot to learn. How, I don't think your average person knows how many calories, how much, all of that.
The Apple Watch did it though.
Tracking and macros and whatever.
I didn't do macros, but I started looking into those recently. I'm like, that's effed up. But yeah, there was a lot of learning, which was fun though, because I liked learning what makes my body run well. And what really started me was JB got me an Apple Watch for my birthday, which is in December, and Just Dance, because I just wanted to start moving, and that seemed like a way I could move without hurting my hips on the cement on walks.
Or going so far and then having to come back.
Yes, I don't exercise out of the house at a club or whatever because I just don't have time. So yeah, I just happened to start doing that, and I got obsessed with closing my rings and stuff. And then I went to the doctor for a checkup, and they're like, "You're down 12 pounds." I'm like, I haven't even tried. But it was just because I was moving and having fun. And then, so yeah, I did these tweaks, and I realized it's the details. Once you stop minding the details, you will stall. You won't have progress. But it's a pain in the ass. Who wants to count calories? Who wants to count all this stuff? Nobody. It's like a total. So if someone really wants to do it, you got to look at it as it's a part-time job. And the details.
So what are 2 other things you would tell them?
Okay, details is a part-time job. And have a freaking muse. You got to have a goal. And it can't just be like, I want to look how I looked in my wedding dress. Sorry, fail. I mean, maybe you could. But have some cool-ass person that you want to look like.
Find out what motivates you.
But know that you're not going to look like them. Like, I will not ever be Hannah Waddingham size. That's okay. I put a comparison picture on Instagram because another fun thing I did was every time I lost 20 pounds, I took a picture of me holding a dog food bag because they're 20 pounds. I'd be like, this is how much weight my body was carrying around. And it doesn't have to anymore. And so I got up to 3 dog food bags, which you guys, holy crap, that was heavy. And that's what my body was hauling around. 3 dog food bags. I lost more weight beyond that, but I didn't get past that. So I took a picture of me doing that. I was wearing this olive green shirt. And then I went on to find a Hannah Waddingham picture to do a side-by-side. And there was one of her wearing an olive green dress. I was like, perfect. And if you look at them side-by-side, we're not the same. I'm much bigger than her. She's much more ripped. She has super awesome blonde hair. But for me, and I don't know how other women work because I know I'm a little weird. I don't have the self-esteem issues that other people do. Most women do. But I just looked at that and I'm like, I'll never get to her, but that's okay because I still did awesome and I met my goals. Also, yeah, maybe have tangible goals. I don't know. But no, the devil's in the details. Have a muse. And what was the third one? I don't remember. We'll have to go back and listen.
Yeah. Goals. You said have tangible goals, devil's in the details, and then find a muse.
Yep.
So the last thing I would like to say is the big takeaway from your journey that I learned is how big, like that's when I started noticing your 1% change. I think you even said it to me one day. You're like, oh, every year, because like every year you pick a goal. Mm-hmm. And I was like
a goal for personal growth.
Like a specific goal. And then you're like, I'm giving up everything else. And I'd be like, oh, why would you do that? But now I see why it's important because you put so much mindfulness to it because you're trying to not just do it, you're trying to integrate it. And it's a completely different way of like doing goals. It's not, like Julie said, it's a lot of learning. It's not just like, oh, I'm checking this thing off my list. It's you are learning about it and integrating it into your life so you can keep it. But that's the year that I learned like how important 1% change is and how to really change things by integrating them and how you do it. And I think it's inspiring.
Well, I'm so glad. Yeah, that was a hard thing for me posting on Instagram that I lost weight because I wanted to inspire people, not be like, hey, look at me. I lost a 20-pound bag of dog food off my body. But it was like, hey, look at what a regular person can do. And it did shock me at one point in the journey because you were talking about like, why are you giving up all these things to like pour into this one project? I made up this whole weight loss plan in my head. Okay. And then I went on the internet one day to see if maybe there were some other cool ideas. And I don't remember what I Googled, but it was like, here's how to lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And I'm like, the hell? Like, these people are into these, like, instant gratifications. I'm like, that's not how this works. And so I realized, I'm like, so many people are looking to, I want to lose weight, just get it done in a month, and then go back to what I was doing, right? Which might work for some people. But for me, it has to be that slow process. So it's, like, burned into your soul and, like, something you do.
So that'll be a whole new episode.
Thank you for listening to Finch and Sparrow Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed our stories related to our lessons or just laughed along with us. We sincerely thank you for spending your time with us today. A special thanks to our friend Caitlin Vinci for letting us use her song We Rise. You can check out her full song and other tracks at CaitlinVincimusic.com. Follow along with us on our Instagram at Finch_N_Sparrow. There you can find out what we're up to, see what's inspiring us, and maybe what we're going to do next. See you next time.
Yes, you can be real and true, and it's all you allow yourself